Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about what cameras to use as a beginner filmmaker, and it's going to go from the lowest price to the highest price, and it's going to have this range of cameras. And also, these are all the cameras I've used in the past on my filmmaking journey, so I know how each of them work and how they feel and what I like and don't like about each camera. But before we get started, I want you guys to keep in mind, like, are you going to be a director or a director of photography? I think these are two different paths to take. And if you want to be a director, you don't really need to focus too much on what gear to get. You can just kind of rent them or get your DP to do it. But if you want to go down the director of photography path, I think it's pretty important to understand gear at a higher level, and especially, just get technical with it. I think that's important as a DP to do. Another thing to keep in mind is that lighting is so much more important than what camera you have. So just make sure you get good at the fundamentals of lighting. First thing I want to talk about is the iPhone, or any kind of phones in general. I mean, the price, it's free, so you already have it, and you can do so much with it, especially nowadays. What I like about it is the affordability of these phones, because everyone has it, so you don't have to worry about renting it, you don't have to worry about buying it, because you use it on your day-to-day basis anyways. Also, it's very portable. You can take it anywhere, just in your pocket. It's sneaky if you need to film a scene in public, and you don't have to get a permit because you just pull out your phone and just film. You can also be very efficient with it, very quick. There's a lot of little gadgets you can put on your lens to make it look good. You can put on a gimbal too, very fluid movements, super simple stuff. You can literally edit on your phone, upload it to whatever thing you need to upload it to. So it's very streamlined. Some cons, obviously, the quality is not going to be as good. It's not going to be professional at all. You're not going to get too much control over it. So let's say you want to get onto the next level, right? Next thing I want to talk about is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K or 6K. They're around 1,300 to 1,500, these two cameras. This camera is basically, after I think filmmaking for 5-6 years, I upgraded to this camera and I love it. It's literally such a life-changing camera. The color is actually insane. Like, basically whatever I shot, it felt like I was shooting a movie. It's not too expensive. It's actually very affordable as a cinema camera. You can rig it out. You can add different things to it. Monitor, you can put on a shoulder rig. So you can have a lot of options. You can build it out, right? I'm just saying, like, every time I pick it up, it feels like I'm making cinema. Like, it feels like I'm filming something like professional, and it just feels so good. And I'm so nostalgic about that camera. It's just like, I'm obsessed with that camera. There are some drawbacks to that camera. For example, it has only manual focus, so it's a lot harder. You have to get good, but this also like trains you a lot to make sure like you get good at all these camera settings, and I think it improves you as a filmmaker a lot. Also, it's kind of small, like the sensor is not as big, so the quality is not going to be as good as some of the later on cameras. Also, the battery life is not good at all. It's like 30 minutes and you have to get a new battery in there. Kind of annoying. But you can also get like a battery like plate in the back, but that also makes it heavier. And overall, I love this camera. I think if you have the budget for it, totally go for it. And the camera shake, you can get a gimbal or something, and that's what I did for like 3-4 years. And the film I got me into USC Film School was shot on that camera, and I mean, to this day, it still looks so good, in my opinion. Next thing is the Sony a7 IV, the camera I'm using to shoot this YouTube video right now. This camera is around 2,500. I mean, this camera is, oh my god, it's another level for me. I didn't really realize it was an upgrade. I kind of got it for mainly photography. I wanted to get into that. This camera's insane at photos. But I realized this thing's video capability is insane as well. The Sony colors are just mind-blowing, and the battery life is really good too, so you can like do a lot of like video work, like weddings or client work, like music videos as well. This thing has autofocus. It's very versatile. You can rig it out as well. You can attach all these things to it. If you have the budget, this is the camera to get. Or you can do anything with it essentially, right? But the con, I guess, it kind of looks like a DSLR, so it's like not as professional, but it's so beautiful. I've shot so many movies nowadays on this, and it always, I think, turns out really good. A step up from this is the FX30 or the FX3. These are basically Sony's like actual cinema line. The price for the FX30 is around 1,800, and the FX3 is 4,000. it is a big step up from it. So if you want to rent it, the FX30 is around 40 to 100 a weekend, and the FX3 is about 70 to 150 a weekend, which is not too bad if you're not going to be using it all the time. This camera is super popular. I mean, everyone's getting it because that's how good it is. All my film school friends is getting it, and they're basically, a lot of them are even making their money back from all the client work they've been doing. Again, this is very similar to the A7 IV. The colors are crazy good, versatility, autofocus is really nice, and in fact, I mean, they shot The Creator, like a Hollywood feature film, you know, what, $75 million, and they shot it with that camera. Some drawbacks, I guess, again, it's also kind of small, so it's not as professional, but I think I love that camera so much. It's so nice, and I want to shoot more stuff on it for sure. Step up from the FX3 is the FX6. This thing is a beast, and if you're into filmmaking, like documentary or commercial, it's really nice for it. I think it's a lot bigger, so it feels more like a cinema camera. This camera is around $6,000 to buy the body, but if you want to rent it, it's only $100 to $200 a weekend. So many things are good about this camera, like with the other Sony camera. I love Sony stuff. They got autofocus, built-in ND filters. Overall, it's just like very good, very good quality. All of the junior thesis films at USC Film School are shot on those, so you already know it's like proven to be like a very good camera. Some cons, you know, also it's not like the cinema cameras. I think there's some improvements with the color. It's not perfect. I think it's pretty heavy, so it's like running gun is going to be a little harder, but compared to bigger, even better cinema cameras, it is pretty versatile, and you don't have to like rig it out as much as the next camera, which is the Red Komodo. This thing, I shot Missing at Sea, my last short film on it. Absolutely gorgeous camera. Like the color, the red raw is insane. The price is the same as the FX6, but I think the quality is better in my opinion. It's just I got it for basically the red raw. Like you can do so much with the color. It's 6K. You can crop in, it's like a top tier, like build quality, it's like a square, very tough, and you can rig it out, do so much with it. You can also break it down, so you can be very subtle with it as well if you want. The price is going to be a drawback. Efficiency, it takes some time to build it out. Also ease of use, you gotta kind of get good at DPing to use this camera. Also low light is not as good, so it's harder to film when, you know, it's nighttime and it's all grainy and stuff. But the next camera, this is the Arri Alexa Mini or the Sony Venice. I think these two cameras, absolutely amazing cameras. I mean, the Sony Venice basically solves the low light issue. So does the Arri, I think. And I'm not even gonna talk about how much it costs to buy it, a lot. But to rent one, it's about $300 to $600 a weekend with the kit. I think it's not too bad of a deal, but it would cost more with lenses and batteries. And if you're getting that camera, you're probably gonna get bigger lights. You have to get grip trucks, all that stuff. So make sure you're keeping that into consideration. What are the pros? Well, I mean, I'm just not even going to talk about the quality because obviously it's the best in the industry. That's why all the films that are winning the Oscars are using it. All the Netflix movies are using it. And basically it's a huge frame, right? And it has shallow depth of field. It's like basically shallow depth of field on a wide angle. And that's like what's so like beautiful about it, I think. Also, just, I mean, it's just the professional camera. Like they see you on set, you can charge more money as a DP. You know, you can be more inspired, more motivated to make films with this camera. I mean, it's top of the line, right? But obviously the cons are it takes more time to learn how to use it. Also, it's not as efficient. You have to take time to rig it up. And if you want to do a gimbal shot, you have to put on a Steadicam basically, and that takes more time as well. So like just understand what stage of filmmaking you are, and I think just take any one of the cameras on this list and you're just gonna be golden. Like cameras, again, don't have to worry too much about it, but if you do want to get into DP, it's definitely good to have your own gear. I hope you guys were able to take something out of this video and kind of figure out what's your next camera purchase, because I remember when I was kind of getting started, I didn't know what camera to get, right? I was like, best cameras, blah blah blah, and I think I have a very good understanding now of kind of the basic cameras for beginner filmmakers. And if you guys want to know how to get professional filmmaking gear for very low prices, check out this video where I talk about the process of renting cameras and how all that works. So I'll see you guys in that video. Peace out.